Lighter than air vehicles, high-altitude airships, and high-altitude platforms are often misperceived as satellites by the public. So at nighttime, when you see one of those moving dots in the sky and believe it to be a satellite, it's actually one of these illuminated balloons. The skies are riddled with these communications technologies, but we are made to believe that they exist beyond our atmosphere. If we are to believe NASA's stories, then here's a question. How do satellites survive the 4,000-degree Fahrenheit temperature in space? There are only 7 elements on the periodic table that could withstand this heat, and none of them have been used for satellites. Satellites allegedly reside in the thermosphere, where temperatures can soar 4,000 degrees and more. This is simply not possible. These technologies are in flight underneath our dome. Including the technologies I just named, there are at least 18 platforms that can be used independently, in tandem, or in groups to provide all of the services that satellites supposedly provide. With new eyes, it becomes clear. No actual photos, no actual video footage, just CGI and photoshopped images. This is a NASA photo of an astronaut fixing the supposed space station. I'm completely joking. This is actually from the 2013 movie Gravity. This is a real NASA photo. They're almost indistinguishable. I actually think the Gravity photo looks more believable. The similar Hebrew word nasha means to lead astray, to delude, to morally seduce. It's then no wonder that the NASA logo contains a serpent's tongue, serpents having been a symbol for deception throughout mythology. On the gravestone of Wernher von Braun, one of NASA's early rocket developers, there is a reference to a Bible verse that talks about our dome, our firmament. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheath his handiwork. I've discussed in previous videos how the sun is the collective consciousness of the whole, showering down on us in tandem with the astrolight and black sun. Our auras contain the information of our individual energetic vibrations. Our auras are literally made of sunlight, and the sun is literally the sum of our auras. This is revealed within the word aura. AU is the periodic table's abbreviation for gold, and Ra is the Egyptian personification of the sun. The sun is the sum of the colors of our auras mixed together, which appears to our eyes as white. White light refracted in a prism shows all the colors of the visible light spectrum. These 7 colors are also the 7 color variations of our auras. We are the sun. The moon, however, is different. It has been tampered with. In my video on menstrual blood, I describe how the moon was not always in the sky, suggesting it's an implant initially foreign to our flat plane. It sends down rigid square waves at us via the Saturn-Moon matrix and creates an interdimensional light trap which attempts to recycle us back into another incarnation. So we remain energetic food for the parasitic forces of this world that feed off of fear and suffering, the very emotions this false matrix we're living in aims to extract. The sun and moon are each about only 3,000 miles away, sitting well underneath the dome. What about the stars? Stars are clearly not suns. They are not bright and luminous like we have been sold, but twinkling energies of light that continuously change in color, texture, and shape. Sonoluminescence is the emission of short bursts of light from imploding bubbles in a liquid when excited by sound. To put in simple terms, the energy of a sound wave in a fluid can create flashes of light. Due to sound frequencies, beautiful patterns occur on the surface of an object closely surrounding the sound vibrating medium. Cymatics is vibrational phenomenon, beautiful patterns that are created within water and sand when sound is applied. The stars are full of similar geometric patterns. These sound frequencies are carried through the astral light, which shoots out of the center of our plane. The other side of our plane, Agartha, is so harmonious that these frequencies created there, whether it be actual sound or just waves of natural harmonious tones, appear as beautiful lights in our skies, revolving us and giving us spiritual guidance in the form of astrology. So waves that create the stars are caused by frequencies from the other side of our flat plane. These sound waves propagate through the dome and the waters above, where they reflect back as twinkling sonoluminescent lights that we call stars. And we can zero in and see, it looks like these lights are indeed reflecting off water, in a similar fashion that they would on the floor of a pool or ocean. With just a telescope in our backyards, we can see that planets are not as defined as NASA would have us believe. In fact, Venus looks more like a star than a planet, and same with Mars. I'm still figuring out what exactly planets are, but for now we can assume they are created similarly by sonoluminescence. Planets do not twinkle like stars, giving me the impression that they are stronger, more consistent monotone frequencies, therefore appearing more solidified than a star, which represents consistent but oscillating frequencies. This may be the reason why planets do not twinkle and stars do. The planets have a strong spiritual influence on this plane as seen in astrology. They are a monumental part of the guiding forces on Earth, and therefore are somehow intact in ways the stars are not. One thing we can observe is that stars and planets look identical in distance in the sky, and this is because they're not various distances away, but expressions of sound carried by the astral light and reflecting onto our dome. We've been taught that Earth is spinning, with its surface at the equator moving at a speed of 1,000 miles per hour. Earth is also zooming around the Sun at around 67,000 miles per hour. In addition, our solar system whirls around the center of our galaxy at some 490,000 miles per hour. You've never felt a thing on this motionless plane, but besides that, we've been seeing the same constellations and stars in the skies for thousands of years. This is because the stars are revolving year after year in the same positions around us. It's amazing how most of humanity is fooled into thinking the opposite, even while our senses tell us otherwise. The transgression of stars also make a dome shape. The North Star remains perfectly fixed in place night after night, year after year. Directly underneath the North Star Polaris sits the vortex hole into the other side of our flat plane, into the land of perpetual twilight. This is where we find Agartha, Hyperborea, the Garden of Eden. Through this opening is paradise, where war and suffering does not happen. Many of the videos on my channel are dedicated to proving this exists, with help from coded stories, allegories, and symbols that have been given to us throughout the ages. The swastika is an ancient symbol seen in almost all ancient cultures in some form, oftentimes in association with the black sun symbol. The Big Dipper dances in a circle around Polaris, and this is where the swastika symbol comes from. All compasses point to the holy hole, the true North Pole of our flat plane. The reason the swastika has held such significance is because it meets at the point in which underneath lies the exit hole into paradise. The Big Dipper dancing around Polaris moves like a vortex. Underneath, there is a literal vortex. As above, so below, literally. This is the first footage ever to be seen of the polar entrance. This is a huge opening at Earth's North Pole, even though it might look small here. When we enter through this opening, we make an interdimensional flip-flop and end up in the world powered by the black sun. You can see the astral light, or aurora borealis, shooting out. It's a faint green color here. This was claimed to be taken by the Russian space station, but this is obviously taken much closer through an airplane window. The elite, among all of their control mechanisms and fear-based programming, have given us clues such as this video, the Holy Grail, the Spear of Destiny, and many others. These clues have been placed here as a form of lesser magic, hiding the truth in plain sight, so those who may decode them can get out of this false matrix and into a place full of love and unity. The other side of Flat Earth is more in sync with its fifth-dimensional nature. There is easily accessible divine information down there, a heart-centered consciousness. We are gathering for this journey to the center under blood over intent. There is a spiritual filter in place, and only those who have spilt their blood over their divine intent will be allowed in. This is white blood magic that is sealing our names with the intent to bring forth heaven on earth. This intent is divine, and when we spill a few drops of blood on it, we are then metaphysically aligned with the vibrations of this intent. Search blood over intent, replicate the videos you see, publish it on YouTube, and stay tuned. The journey to the center is happening within a few years' time. Me and my blood brethren have the right intent. We know our destination. Now is the gathering period. Blood over intent is also reshaping the fabric of this reality. We're going to the center, but in the meantime, we're doing our part in alchemically sealing this side of Flat Earth with the word spell heaven on earth. So Mother Earth harnesses a gateway into another realm, what I call the vaginal vortex. Once we're through, we will be able to remain in paradise, and some of us may choose to exit this entire matrix through the black sun, which is indeed a black hole sun. The great deep that many flat earth depictions describe is not a place to fear. It's simply dark because it's perpetual twilight down there, illuminated by the black sun. I've said over and over again, down below is not a place of horrors and damnation. That idea has been given to us so we may never discover the fountain of youth. The scary stories of hell and the underworld, throw them out of your repertoire. We are in hell right now. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned the ancient Finnish representation of our flat plane. Within this model, a great whirl was caused by the North Pole by the rotation of a column of sky. Through this whirl, souls could go to the outside of the world, to the underworld. Ancient cosmology and illustrations are riddled with mandalas and drawings that all converge toward the center. This is no coincidence. Get to the center. X marks the spot where we find the Holy Grail, underneath Polaris, shining down from the center of the flat earth dome. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please take care of yourselves. Keep spreading love, light, and truth. I love you all.